be doing it right. I don't know. We'll see in a second. Hi, everybody. Okay. All right, we'll see in a moment if I've done this right or not. Let me just plug in. Hey, everyone. Okay, good afternoon to y'all too. Anyhow, I'm not expecting folks to be here waiting. I just decided to do this as usual about 20 minutes ago, but I just figured I would do a little something this afternoon just to maybe take a little bit of the seriousness, the edge out of this journey for some of us, make some of us feel better. Let us remind ourselves that we're not all alone and see where everybody's at and measure everybody's tolerance level. So, and I did want to share a couple of things with the collective in general. For those of us who are still attempting to continue or remain or return to this this journey, all right, this spiritual ascension, this twin flame journey. When I said that, the light just went like the light in the candle just went like that. So I recalled that I had gotten this book from it's written by IYANLA VANZANT, yes, one of my favorite authors. Um, and I'd gotten this years ago. Actually, this was the first book of hers that I ever read, and it is, I think, what opened me up to study of Yoruba and African um, ancestry and ancestral altars and that type of thing. So the name of the book is called "The Spirit of a Man: A Vision of Transformation for Black Men and the Women Who Love Them." Okay, by IYANLA VANZANT. I got this years ago, and actually, I've gotten a few copies of them because I've actually given them as gifts to different male friends of mine over the years. Some that I was in relationships with, and others who just were family. Um, it's got a recommendation on the front cover by Reverend Jesse Jackson, which says a lantern Black men can use to find their way out of the darkness of life in America. So this is published by Harper One. I'll hold this to the camera so you can see. And this is the paperback version of it. Um, and I believe that Harper One is a subsidiary of HarperCollins Publications. I don't know if they're still in print. They may be or may not, but you can get them on IYANLA VANZANT's personal website, I believe still. And you could always try Amazon or Etsy, but this was only $13.99 for the paperback US, okay, $17.50 Canada. So don't let yourself get scalped. But in it, it has the prayer for the ancestral spirits that I have used from then till now. Um, and it talks about spirit minded breathing and consciousness. So you learn how to do meditation, breathing. Talks about the spirit that we should care for, our Ori, which is our head, ORI, our heads. Um, and a little bit about her journey. And it also speaks about the power of silence. Okay. And just that piece of information should be helpful. Okay. Talks about um, the silence that families carry from generations to generations of not speaking the truth or not telling, um, not speaking honestly or just not mentioning things. Iyanla said that she lost her mother when she was a little girl and she never knew that her mother had died. She thought that her stepmother was her mother, and she didn't know that there was anyone before that, that she had a mom. So that type of thing. So, and she was a female child. She also talks about relationships with men, that kind of stuff. But I just, I thought it was so uplifting and informative. And as I said, it started my interest in Yoruba and Ifa. So, if you can, it might be a great thing if you can go to the library and get it, or if you can order it from Harper Row Publications. Was it Harper Collins Publications? And it was originally published in hmm, 1996, and it was the first publishing was 1997, and I believe there's other publishings. Well, this is the original publishing. That's what it is. So, but I did have it in hard copy at one time. I probably do still have it in hard copy. Actually, I do have it downstairs. But this is a great book, and if you can invest in it, it may be worthwhile. And give it to your partner, especially your divine masculines, as a gift. For holidays. Hey, thank you for coming. Um, so also got two songs while I was getting ready to come online. It was "I Feel a Song in My Heart Again" and okay, and "Knock Three Times." "I Feel a Song in My Heart Again" is by Gladys Knight and the Pips, and the second song, "Knock Three Times," is by Tony Orlando and Dawn. Okay, yes, these are songs that were out in the 70s, right? Tony Orlando and Dawn, they tie a yellow ribbon around the yellow tree, those people. And when I sat down here, starting to get it ready, I thought about what is that? Somebody may be, this might be a message about someone, could be uh, DM, DF, could be yours, it could be you, maybe someone's feeling a little happy today or a little free or a little frisky or something, and maybe there's someone nearby that's going to be knocking on their door, someone in the apartment building, a neighbor, someone not too far. That's what I got for it so far. To- mm, that someone is feeling a little like themselves, and so maybe they are going to be mm, could be someone is going to be making a trip to see their partner because they're feeling good today or will be feeling good over the next few days, whenever, soon, I guess. But "Not Three Times" is about someone saying that they kind of have a crush on their neighbor upstairs, and she should knock three times on the ceiling. Take a broom. Boom, boom. Hey, Ashley. Good afternoon. How you doing, baby? Thanks for joining me. Um, so that's why I said I thought maybe someone had someone who was nearby, who is a neighbor, and they are going to be knocking at your door or at your partner's door, or your partner's going to be knocking at their door, whatever. Um, I'm just saying that's the song. If you find out it's something like that happened later, or if that's what happened already, make a comment and let us know. So I thought today would be and just uh just sit down and chit chat. And while I was sitting here saying, well, what am I going to do? I know I wanted to go on, and Spirit said, play guess the lesson. It's okay. And like it's like a game show, right? So I've had, friends and clients who have spoken to me about different scenarios that they have been going through with their partner. And it could be male or female, doesn't really matter. And so a lot of times I get that, like, what does this mean? What is that about? I don't get it, like, what's the lesson? I was already independent. I was already single, like, what is this? Um, so, and we talk about it, and we, you have to laugh through it because I don't know. I'm in the same boat, but we use cards and whatever. But usually it ends up being a conversation, and hopefully we laugh and get through it, or we end up joking and getting through it. So if I could do that with my clients in person, or my friends, or my girlfriends on the phone and stuff, let's see if we could do it here amongst one another. So I think what I do, and I have two questions, and well, it's like two scenarios, and the answer, basically the answer is, what's the lesson? What is this about? So, um, anybody, if you're here, could you please just give us a thumbs up so that other people can get in the room and we can play the game together and get some more energy going here. And of course, while I'm sitting here, I will get into some, I'm sure I'll pull a card from somewhere as necessary and as needed. Um, but I thought that would be kind of cute. Let's see. Why not? All right. Give us something to do besides worrying or being mad or crying or plotting or sleeping or avoiding or blocking or whatever it is that we will do, all of us, male, female, everybody. So, thank you for joining me. Please give us some thumbs up so that other people will know that we're here. We're getting ready to play What's the Lesson? And if there's anyone that has a situation, I can share it with everyone else. I won't say a name if you don't want me to, but I will pose the scenario, and then the rest of us can see if we can give suggestions to one another, like what were we supposed to learn from that nonsense, right? So, the first question I have here. All right, so this is from, can't tell if this person was male or female, but it was, and I got this at 3:33 today, just in case. That's significant. The first question scenario is, my twin and I were in no communication on and off since September of last year, and it's steadily gotten worse. Recently, we actually spent a few evenings speaking for anywhere from 1.5 to 2 hours. We were talking, and I thought that it went very well. Suddenly, no contact, although we made plans for the weekend. What's the lesson? 1331. Okay. Um, what is the lesson? First of all, I don't think that that is unique to your situation. So just know that and let me know where you're from, everybody, if you want to. And like I said, give us some thumbs up so we can get some more suggestions and answers. So, what is the lesson in that? A lot of us go through that, right? Everything's going along peachy keen, hunky dory. We are remaining in our divine selves, not trying to act like a jerk, not trying to be a, yeah, you're in a similar situation. That's what I'm saying. Lots of people are. That's part of this. What do you call it? Runner chaser? Was it ghosting? That's called now. When you don't call a person back or you don't text them back and that kind of stuff. Lots of this stuff going on um, with young people and older folks, middle-aged folks, folks who should know better. People who were alive when they didn't even have phones. Now they're getting beside themselves. Folks, a group of situations where the phone was down the hall, okay? And it had a cup at the end. Now they want to act like, they got so much phone savvy that they know how to block somebody when they probably have to ask their grandchildren how to help them block and unblock. This is silliness. But this is what I'm saying. I'm making jokes just to lighten up the situation. I know that it's not easy, but what are you gonna do? Sit around and cry all day and carry on and act all silly and whatever, or remain in a situation with someone who doesn't appreciate you. Okay? What are you gonna do? Got to do something to pass the time. Okay, go out on dates with other people because time is something you cannot get back. Wasting time on someone who doesn't respect your time. Exactly. And that's why I was saying that I was picking up from that knock three times and I feel a song in my heart again. Is that some of us are at the place where you are, where see, here we go, spirit. From Rome. They're notorious, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Okay, fine. It is worth waiting for. But in the meantime, we can still go out and date other people. We can see other people. We could have friendships and relationships with other people. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Just make sure that whatever you do, that you're safe. Okay, no sense in adding more karma, negativity to, you know, your slate. I'm sure everybody's at a clean slate space now. We don't want to fuzzy anything up. So these two cards fell out while I was just shuffling for no apparent reason. First one says, free yourself and trust. So I think this is agreeing with what we just said. You can go out and you don't have to do, you don't have to be intimate with anybody that you don't want to be intimate. You don't have to go any further with anybody you don't want to be. And it's not about, okay, this is about trusting yourself, knowing that okay, all right. Lesson, you can be free and trust yourself for your own sake, not because you're trying to save yourself for your partner. So being able to exercise your freedom. Okay, exercise your freedom without guilt. Making decisions for yourself. To please yourself, right? To reward yourself. Okay, that's what Spirit just said. To free yourself or to reward yourself, just like your partner may be doing for themselves, but it doesn't matter because this is not retaliation. This is standing up in your divine masculine and divine feminine. Because remember, we're being taught that we embody both of those energies. So if we are embodying both of those energies, then we can embody both of those energies, right? And if we can trust ourselves to be out in the dating world, then know that we have the right to choose what we do with ourselves. And the only thing that we can control is ourselves. Then we don't, it's teaching us that we don't have to worry about mistrusting anyone outside of ourselves because you can't control anyone anyway, right? The only thing that you can control is yourself. So trusting yourself, and freedom, right? Free yourself. Free yourself and trust. Those were the cards. I got it. Hey, hi, Juanithia. How are you? Yes. So that's what we're up to. All right. So that's one of the lessons on that one, right? Trust and free yourself. So now, what was that? That they had communications on and off. It's gotten steadily worse. And now they were supposed to have plans this weekend and no contact. What's the lesson? Okay. So, okay. Ashley said, hello, Juanithia. And she's waving at you. And so, and the songs were knocked 3 times. And I feel a song in my heart again. All right. Could you do me a favor? Make sure that you give us a thumbs up so more people will know that we are here. Trying to do the notifications. And let me see if I can let some other folks know because I'm just in the mood for chilling right now. I don't even we're just getting started because I think that this might have been that was very good actually, that one. But there's more to it. Any other lessons? Anybody? Ashley, let's use your brain. Let's use your intuition. What's the lesson in that scenario? You too, Juanita, what is the lesson? This person had been having on and off sporadic contact with their twin since September. It's gotten worse, and now it picked up recently. They had made plans to see each other this weekend, and they're back to no contact. What's the lesson in that? Let's see if I can get this to okay. Could share it at this point because it's live. 10 4. All right. Everybody's greeting each other. Very nice. Please help give us some thumbs up, please, if you haven't already. I got 3 people here. I only got 1 thumbs up, and I know the first thumbs up was from Ashley. So can we please get some help here, folks? The more the merrier, remember? Share. Yeah, all right. So let's put it out here. Get and for those of you who didn't see it, I had posted a video, audio this morning. May, the first rainwater for the month of May is very holy, special water, and I just want to let everybody know that. So there's a way for you to preserve that water. It's good for you to make spiritual baths, love baths, and Oshun. Um, brought it to my attention that May is the 5th month and Oshun's number in the Orisha pantheon is 5, and her color is yellow and orange, and I had already made the thumbnail for that, and it was yellow, so that was her confirming that, and she wanted me to remind everybody when you use honey in any of your work, please make sure you taste it before you add it to whatever it is you're adding it to. Okay? So that was the message. Thank you very much for those thumbs up. Appreciate it. All right, let's let folks know we over here doing this here. And let's see. So come on, ladies. Anybody have any other messages that could come? What any other lessons that we could garner from this type of hmm, occurrence, even though we know it's common? Have you learned anything from it since you've had it happen to you before? Ashley, you're currently in this situation. What have you learned anything from it? Has anything changed about the way you respond to it? Let's do that. Okay. I'm waiting. hmm I don't know why Facebook doesn't let you share to several different places at the same time. I'm just saying. I think that's ridiculous and a waste of time. But I guess they do it like that to keep people from being bots and stuff. Okay. Don't forget to tell your friends we're here. You can share this video while you're here. Let your friends know that we're here. And yeah, why not? Mm. Find out what it is. What are the, okay. What they had said that we could do. Let's pull one of these fairy tale cards and see which one of the fairy tale um, archetypes come up. Maybe that'll help us determine. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for giving us thumbs up. Maybe that'll help us figure out what is the lesson, right? If we do that, maybe that'll help also. And then, all right, somebody remind me after we finish getting through this scenario. I'll roll the dice, see if we can get any more information. Somebody might be helpful to you in regards to your relationship specifically. Maybe the message would be for you. Okay, so you can't change how someone else communicates. Absolutely. Was that a issue ever for you, Ashley? Did you ever try to control how another person in any relationship? Okay. Have you ever tried to control how someone communicates or go through their phone, I guess? Maybe is that a way of changing or controlling how someone communicates? Can't change how someone communicates. That's a good one. The only thing that you can control. You get upset recently and called him an elephant in the room. Okay. That doesn't sound. So you just left him alone. Okay. But is he fat? Why'd you call him the elephant in the room? I mean, was that offensive? Because his behavior probably is the thing that the elephant in the room is something that's looming, but you're not really talking and not addressing it. So he shouldn't be upset if you called him an elephant in the room in case he's like overweight. How someone communicates. And for some of us, our partners need to learn about that too, because as much as they might want to have to control how what they're doing is controlling how we can communicate. Okay, you asked him a question and he wouldn't talk about the issue. So now he ghosted me. And so now I'm still learning. Okay. You asked him a question and he wouldn't talk about the issue. And then he ghosted you. So what is the lesson for you? First lesson is do not beat yourself up about that because it doesn't sound like you did anything wrong. It sounds like you were trying to have a conversation. Were you yelling or screaming when you were speaking to him? One communicates and not to let someone not to allow someone. No, it was just an opening dialogue. Okay, were you face to face? You were face to face, right? not to allow someone to try to control us. You're in the same room. Okay, so do you all live together, or that just was like a moment in time that you got to spend together? Um, okay, so if you're living with one another, oh, you was visiting. Okay, so you're having a conversation. That's the way you started the conversation, or you had gotten into it for a little bit, or after a while when you were ready to talk because you were spending time greeting one another prior to this conversation. Just going over old times, huh? Okay. I'm just trying to see, like, was time spent before? You were having a good time, typically. And then, now, so hopefully you're not feeling like you spoiled the moment because you wanted to have a question answered. And if you were feeling like that, I think Spirit just said for you not to beat yourself up about that at all. You got to take the opportunities when you can. Hmm? All right. It's not, you shouldn't be expected to just stay sweet and keep sweet, right? Because that's not reciprocal and that is not honoring you on, that's, if you choose to do that, you choose to do that. But again, these things that we're dealing with, yeah, some of them have to do with their own issues and lessons that we have to learn about our communication skills and something like that. But some of these things is just bad damn manners, one, and others of these things are just someone trying to control their partner, right? No different from what they may say that we may be doing by asking for accountability, right? Everything isn't always going to be smiles and lingerie all the time. Exactly. But because of the fact that some of them use sex as a weapon also, when they finally do want to have contact with us, all they want to know about is smiles and lingeries because they're not being realistic. Hi, Desiree. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming. See, everybody, I told you, put some thumbs up. We get some, get this circulating, and more folks come in here with more information to share with us. Great to see you. So we're playing a game, and we are trying to do something to find out what is the lesson that we're supposed to be getting by some of the scenarios that those of us who are in this twin flame relationship find ourselves in. What's the point? What is the lesson? So don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for joining us. And we are talking. I'm sure that I need that info because that what I'm do because what I'm doing wrong. You're trying to figure out what you're doing wrong. Right. So first of all, thank you very much, Desiree. She said she saw it. She did a thumbs up. She got me. Boo. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna laugh our way through our lessons today. All right. Enough of the beating up on ourselves. Okay. We're human. We've done our work, and I don't recall. I don't know. Did a lot of those of us who are already awakened, did we treat our partner like this when we were going through our awakening? I don't know. I know I didn't. I don't know if anyone did, but actually, I pretty much went through my awakening by myself because he was acting like a jackass back then, or he was too involved in his own um, drama, his own life's drama, to even care uh, about my awakening. That was my experience. Okay. We come close to seeing each other and then the day of we don't. That's exactly what I said that the question was someone had the twin and I were to have been in communications on and off, and they everything was steadily bad, and then suddenly it got good again, and they were supposed to have a they're supposed to have a date this weekend. They made plans for the weekend, and then no um no contact. So what's the lesson? So one of the lessons is we are not alone. It's not just happening to you, it is not just happening to her, and it's not just happening to him, it's not just happening to me, it's happening to us all at the same time. So there's no reason to feel like you caused this. See, it helps to know. Oh, see, that's the idea. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. That's it. You're not by yourself. That's the point, right? You cried all day yesterday. I understand. And we've all had those days this weekend and this week, but it's not your fault. It's part of the journey. So, since it's part of the journey and we're all taking this damn test and these lectures at the same time, okay, what is the lesson? Right? Right. So, the first thing is not to try to work through this alone, not try to internalize this alone, take advantage of the tools that we have. Imagine we're not the first people who are going through this twin flame journey, and they have happened in waves. I believe since the at least the 40s or the 30s. I don't know. That's what I've been able to read and understand. Remember, like I was talking to my mom the other day, they didn't have a telephone in their house. There was like a community phone, and you had to dial it up and put one into your ear, and like you see in the old movies, right? So those people weren't making phone calls and communicating with each other. So you know there weren't a lot of ways to get around. They didn't have public transportation. You Lots of people couldn't visit with one another. You might have had to have chaperones, things like that. So we have it a lot better than previous generations of twin flames. Another good thing to remind ourselves, got 5 5, absolutely, when I said that. So that's something that we need to remind ourselves about also. Could be worse. Okay. Not that it excuses it, but imagine how much better off you are right now and at this time, at this iteration, than with this exact same scenario and no way to communicate. So 6 and 5, that's 11. Ashe. Think about it like that. That might be helpful. So that could be it. So gratitude, and respect for our ancestors. As far as the twin flame journey goes, those people are our ancestors and our elders. So gratitude that we don't have to use the telephone down the street at the soda shop. And everybody in the building don't have to know whether or not we haven't gotten a telephone call from our divine masculine. So it's bad enough that we know it. We don't need all of the neighbors knowing it, right? So thank God we're not in that situation, right? We, for the most part, are independent. Okay, Desiree's laughing, right? So come on, let's try to make light of this as we can. So we don't have to get like a lot of us, the majority of us, even though there's some of us, unfortunately, that are still, this is their culture and they, deal with this. It's not like you're in an arranged marriage, all right? And it's not like you don't have a life, that you're going to be a spinster if you're not married by the time you're 28, right? So nobody's sending you to the convent. Your yeah, our families, they don't want it. They think you're nuts. They're ready to check you in, you and them. If they could put a net over you and your twin, you'd both be in the hospital, I'm sure, on different floors and separated, and then, all of the other nonsense that would go along with being in the same mental ward with his ass or her ass. But yeah, this is nuts because some of them, we're trying to explain it to them and they think we're nuts and they're going through it with us. So, imagine. So, yeah. And so, what that does is it makes us hold this information and hold this hurts inside. And it doesn't make it any easier because who, you know, I mean, maybe if you got your mother or your father somewhere by themselves without anybody around and you explain it to them, maybe they could say, yeah, I had that relationship with whatever, whatever, the girl I never, the one that got away or the girl that I, was in love with back home, but I never got back there, that type of thing. You hear about people in their, older age in 60s and 70s reconnecting with someone that they went to school with. You told your mother you're scared to be near me. She said, why would that? What would be that reason? Okay, right. And you, okay, let's think of a response that we could give moms who don't understand any of this, right? Scared to be near you. And she said, why would he? What would be the reason? Say, because we have had some really, we have had some really in-depth conversations lately where we shared a lot, and I think he feels vulnerable. That's a normal couple type of thing, right? Without getting into the twin flame part of it, right? So we've been having some really deep conversations. Try that one, right? Okay, we have some really deep conversations where we've been sharing a lot. She don't have to know that the conversations took place one sentence at a time over the last 8 months. We shared a lot lately, and we shared a lot, and I think he feels so. Now you're talking nicely about him, not making him look like an asshole, and maybe if you don't go into the whole "he's my twin flame" and blah 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 conversation, maybe your mother can give you some advice from, like I said, maybe yeah, without getting into the twin flame part of it. Hey everybody, thanks for coming. No, we know he's not so sweet. We know that, but we're not trying to make enemies with our mothers or our friends or whoever it is that we start to be able to open up to about this, because we have to just have the faith of a mustard seed. Things may work out, and you don't want to poison your community against him, or hopefully his against you, because this is not the end of the challenge, right? Because even if we get into union, we're both going to be helping each other with different lessons. So we know he's not sweet. He's sweet to you. Okay. So make sure, okay. But for somebody else, then, as long as he's sweet to you, that's very important. We want to make sure that we don't turn our family off from him any more than they are already. Because if they're seeing us going through these changes, I'm sure that they'd like to meet him in a dark alley. Some of them, those who understand that whole thing. So let's not create more negative karma for them or for us, because I'm sure that they have already gathered enough negative karma for themselves. They don't need any assistance. Your father and his were best friends. Okay. So, like I said, you never know. They may know stories like that about one another, or maybe, if I don't know who's around, but somebody may have a secret love that nobody knows about it. Out of all of these grandparents and parents and stuff like that, they do. Of course they do, because we just talked about how families keep secrets, right? So that's how come we get mama's baby, daddy's mamie situations. This ain't new. We've just these type of situations. Not that they're spiritual, that all those situations were spiritual, but we ain't the first folks who were in, Romeo and Juliet and Queen Esther and King Azara and Ruth and King Boaz and all kinds of stuff. Well, he may hop into the conversation, honey. You never know around here. She said her father passed away. She hope he's not hopping into the conversation. He might very well. He may very well. He may be very well in the conversation right now, and maybe that he's helping. Maybe he's one of the spirits around you that's protecting you right now. You know, because sometimes what they say, rejection is protection. Maybe there's something that is better for you not to be around your partner when they're going through these lessons. You don't want to get hit by the lightning bolt by mistake. So maybe that's part of the lesson too. You never. Oh, not hogging the convo. He may very. We don't know. We don't know. But anyway, we know that our ancestors are watching out for us and they're protecting us. And I did a reading a few weeks ago where somebody's ancestors was like, "Listen, you can give up on this one. We didn't do anything that bad that you need to go through this. This is extra. We didn't know this idiot was crazy." No, you're not hogging the conversation, honey. You're having a conversation with me. And everybody is listening. Believe that everyone's here and listening. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Or else I'd be talking to myself. Let's see if okay. So that's gonna be one way to um try to talk about your divine partner in those type of tones. We've been having really deep conversations, and we've shared a lot, and I think he's feeling a bit vulnerable, and that's why he doesn't want to be alone with me. Okay, forgive me to my eyes. I got two pairs of glasses here, but it's the end of the month, and I have multiple sclerosis, and so MS for me comes in fatigue, which is why I don't do daily readings and different eye situations from time to time. So sometimes glasses are good, and then other times they're not. And I got two pairs to switch, and sometimes neither one of them are good. I just put in drops right before we started. So excuse me if I'm squinting and that kind of stuff, because that what's that about. Like I said, I really wanted to come down, and we have to, try to raise our vibration. we've done all of this work, gone through all of this, dark night of the soul and all of this for ourselves. We don't want to, slip back down. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it more than you know. Okay, so I think right now I can see for a minute. So what I'm gonna do is the fairy tale tarot. I'm gonna use some cards from there, and these are a tarot that's based on the hmm, children's fairy tales, inner child. Okay, so let's see if we can. Let's see if spirit can say what is the archetype that our divine partners are embodying. Okay, since some of us feel that this is, well, we're working, helping them with their inner child, and they are helping us with our inner child issue. Okay, we're going to speak positively. So, what is the inner child uh, issue that's being addressed during no contact? Let's see if we can get something that'll help us there. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can get something that will help us there. All righty. All right, let's see if we can get something. I take jumpers too, so that's another thing. Desiree, I am slow to get cards sometimes, but that's how I'm led to do jumpers. But the other day, it said, oh no, that was a lot. I'm not doing that. All right, so just be patient with me too. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Oh, all right, so let's. Okay, the other day when I did the planet cards, when I was trying to get planet and zodiac cards, they said I could, depending on which zodiac sign I was doing. Okay. Oh no, that's too much. I could okay, well I'll use this one then. All right, what's this? Beauty. My Aegon are too funny and I don't okay. Beauty and the Beast. Oh, okay. Zamumo. I saw that. I was trying to reach you. I was trying to send something to Zunumo. Hi, Zunumo. What have you missed, by the way? Hold on. Okay, so the card that we're getting now is Beauty and the Beast. Okay? So that's the fairy tale. All right? That's the inner child lesson that we are addressing. Okay, so what we're doing, baby, was we're trying to Beauty and the Beast, right? And so what we're doing is we're trying to, well, we're playing a game called Guess the Lesson. We're trying to build to lift our vibration. And I started off by sharing a situation which a lot of people have been experiencing lately, where their partner, and we're male or female, has been sporadic contact, and then recently it got a little better, and there were plans made for the weekend, and they have been totally ghosted. No one has heard from the other partner. So one partner is again back in the situation where they're waiting when they thought that everything had gone well, um, and they haven't heard anything. So the question is, what's the lesson, right? And some of also, I got two songs when I was setting up to start. And the two songs that came through was I Feel a Song in My Heart Again by Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Knock Three Times by Tony Orlando and DOREEN. All right. Yes, these are old songs. Those are the songs that they gave me. I'm an old girl. But I know those songs and I know songs too. Like Yo, Beyonce, what was that? That's the hotness before I let go. My favorite party song in the world. And I was just talking about that song a few weeks ago, saying that that is, if you could take all of these songs and see messages that could be about romance and a twin flame journey and whatever. And so then the other day when I heard it, I was like, oh, what? She made that over? Stop, please. That is the song. No matter what, I could have a broke leg. I'm going to be trying to get up and do that. And I did have a broke leg, and I did try to dance even on that broken leg. So those two songs, I feel a song in my heart and not three times. And so in response to that, we felt the lessons were collectively, we were talking about this, we're trying to lift our spirits up and laugh at this stuff. Is It's talking about, oh, and we got two cards from the romance angel, and one was trust, and the other one was free yourself. So this is about being understanding about making decisions for yourself, to make plans for yourself, to trust yourself to date outside of your relationship, your twin flame journey, your partnership, whatever this is. All right. Regardless of whether or not you can trust your mate, this is not about you trusting them. It's about that you having enough confidence in yourself that you can trust yourself to go out. And you also can trust yourself to make a decision to be intimate with someone else besides your partner. The same, and this is not retaliation for anything of theirs, but we are supposed to be embodying our divine masculine and our divine feminine. That's the whole idea. So then we should be able to control our divine masculine within us and our divine feminine within us, right? And if you don't desire that, then don't. But you have choice. If you don't want to go out, if you want to, or you want to go out with girlfriends and not interact with, well, what with opposite sex, you can do that. You don't have to stay in. You can do all kinds of things. You can volunteer at the hospital. You can go babysit, for somebody that wants to go out on a date with their husband or their boyfriend. While make yourself busy. You can find all kinds of things to do. He says he's not seeing anyone else either. But the point I think that we're getting here through these conversations is, so what? You can't control his body, and neither can he control yours. He can tell you anything. You could tell him anything. You have to be able to trust yourself, right? And trust the connection, that whether he cheats or he doesn't cheat, the connection is still a connection. Because if you break up, they're saying to us, right, that if we break up with one another, even if we get married to other people, there's always going to be a connection. So if our connection could withstand getting married to someone else, it certainly can understand a one night stand. Agreed? So, okay. Maybe that's another lesson, okay? That addresses jealousy and insecurity. Thank you. Okay. If they're saying that no matter what happens, you're going to still be connected even if you never see him again. Oh, okay. Well, then you're going to still be connected even if you decided to go out and have drinks tonight. You're going to still be connected if you decided you want to kiss somebody or go to movies with somebody or go out dancing with somebody or not, because it's not about what they do or what they say or what they're going to approve of. It's about what you feel comfortable with within your own divine self. I say, thanks everybody. If you haven't already given a thumbs up, please give a thumbs up so more of us can get in here and get these messages. And once this is over, whenever this is over, don't forget to share this with other people because I think we're getting a lot of good um, messages, lots of good juju out of this. So let's see. Is there anything else that we didn't get in? Okay, so the songs, knock three times, and I feel a song in my heart again. I said that it gave me the feeling the spirit was saying that somebody may be either you or your partner, either of you, both of you, one or two of you. Could maybe there's someone that will come, someone next door, upstairs or downstairs, or someone in your neighborhood, someone close by that you may run into. And you may be feeling like you can do that, and your spirits are up. He may be feeling that, she may be feeling that, you may be feeling that, they may be feeling that, you both may be feeling that. So 6 and 5 is 11. Thank you very much. So that's a confirmation. So reward yourself. All right. That was the other thing. Make a decision for yourself to please yourself. Okay. You have the right to exercise your freedom and you have the right to trust yourself because the only person you can answer to is yourself because you are um okay, I don't want to call names, but someone had said that they were with their masculine and everything was fine, and they were actually face to face. They weren't even away on telephone. They were actually in the same room, and same type of thing. So um, we can't be walking on eggshells. Everything's good until it gets. It's all right. They said it was. Everything is not smiles and lingerie. Exactly. So after they've gotten their fix, they've recharged themselves off of the energy of the other partner. And now when you want to talk about, well, how, ask a question, get some clarity on something, suddenly now you're messing up the mood and they're not talking to you, right? They're zipping up their bags and they're zipping up their pants or their bags are on their shoulders and they're out the door and you're like, well, what did I do? Not nonsense. Okay. All right. Everybody's agreeing. That's true. All right. So again, reward yourself, make decisions that impact you. Okay. Just like you're on a job, you got to make decisions about your job because you're the only person that's collecting the paycheck at the end of the week. That's where just said this. Same thing. You're the only person that's going to answer to God at the end of the day. When you get to the feet of the Creator, when they put you in the ground, you going by yourself, whether you're with them or not. So be answerable to yourself to be able to justify your own actions to yourself the same way other people do. So we're learning a lesson, right? That taking ownership for our behavior, right? And not letting the what our partner does or doesn't do impact us so much that we don't do what we want to do for ourselves. We have been supportive and we have been doing our work. So we're doing our work and the universe is saying that, okay, you haven't been getting reciprocity because you don't need it from anybody. You can get it for yourself. The universe has it for you. You just have to take ownership of it. This is a new way of doing our relationships, right? That's the whole idea of this, right? To change the way relationships work, to celebrate equality and the emergence of the divine feminine as an archetype, right? Changing from the uh, time of Pisces, which is coming to an end, moving into the age of Aquarius, which is next, right? So we've come to a whole cycle of all of these zodiac signs, all of the century closing out, and now we're going into the age of Aquarius. Peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. And we are taking our positions, right? And we are learning our lessons so that we are raising the vibration of the collective, right? Remembering gratitude at in all things, gratitude in the lessons, and gratitude that spirit was with you during your mm, lessons and your ascension and your dark nights of the soul, because it was just you and the creator, just you and the divine. Thank you very much for joining us. Please give us a thumbs up. All right. We talked about not trying to control anyone else's communications, right? We can't control their communications. That's what they're teaching. That's what the lesson is in being ghosted, right? Not hearing, and they're not, they don't set up the answering machines, or they go straight to voicemail, or whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay, so you can't control the way that someone else communicates, and no one can control the way you communicate either. Your communication style does not have to change. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Your communication style does not have to change based on the fact that someone doesn't communicate the same way you do, right? Or that someone doesn't appreciate your style. You have different styles. We're all allowed to have different styles. Why, when you communicate the way you are used to, do you deserve to be chided and like you're the one that's being disciplined for being too much. But when do they get disciplined for being too much for treating us like that, or treating the partners like that? Where is the equality in there, and what is this about, and who's running the rules here? If this is about us all embracing our masculine and feminine sides, then why are the feminine reactions and actions scolded or corrected? But when the masculine finally decides or is able to join us on the journey, what? Where's the lesson that they got? They've taught us not to be codependent, but the whole most of them are really the ones who are codependent, because they're the ones that's taking, that feel the need to be reassured. Thanks, everybody. Let me know you're here. Give us a thumbs up. Let me know where you're from, right? But we're not going to get too heavy. We're going to laugh through this. So, the archetype that we were dealing with, which for some of us, our situations, according to the fairy tale deck, is Beauty and the Beast. Okay, so this lesson is brought to us by the story Beauty and the Beast. You joke and say he's teaching you patience, but he is. Yeah, we need a good laugh. Right, Nancy? Absolutely. But you know what? He's not teaching you patience, honey. You're teaching it to yourself. He's not teaching you patience. He's not thinking about you being taught patience. He's thinking about himself, right? He's dealing with his own awakening. And by agreeing with him, and I get you, but I'm just telling this for your own self, right? You're just stroking his ego. All right. The universe may be teaching you patience because the universe is what's allowing him to behave in this manner. And that's another thing. A lot of them really, really believe that they're running shit. And when it comes down to it, God is going to show everybody who God is. Right? Okay. So get the popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. Get the popcorn. Don't laugh at him where you can see it. Not to his face, but no, God is not saying that we ain't ready. Each of us are different stages. 6 and 6, thank you. Each of us is at different stages of the journey. For those who are dealing in this situation, whether they be male or female, this wave, part of the group has ascended quicker than the other, right? But they're right there. They're coming behind us. And don't forget, as we're ascending, the karmics are ascending too for whatever their jobs are. All right. Don't get it twisted because this is, again, the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the male and the female opposites, right? So if the positive vibrations are ascending and awakening and uniting, don't think that the negative ones aren't. They are. And this is about, and I have to be careful because I missaid this last week, the light will defeat the dark, right? The light will overtake the negativity, but we're not banishing and destroying the negativity because part of this journey is us learning about our own dark sides. You're welcome. Hey, Doreen, how are you? Why should love be so complicated? There's so many things. It's too complicated. It's twisted because we are not like everybody else. We are chosen for a reason. Um, this is the contract we signed up for, and our ancestors believed that we were capable of this task. So we're honored to do this because we are clearing up some karma for our family members, for our families, and we are trying to bring some past hurts of ourselves and our twins. It's beautiful if you think about it, and that's the whole, again, idea. This is not a punishment. This is a gift, even though it's, full of purging and throwing up and not eating and crying and all that other stuff. But they crucified Christ. Say amen, somebody. So it ain't as bad as it could be. We're here to do a job that is going to not just culminate in a wedding or union, because once you and your partner go into union, hold on, Doreen, I'm going to tell you right now. Once you and your partner go into union physically, there's still going to be more lessons to get. It ain't over, you know, if you're dancing around or wear the white dress or, become roommates or whatever you're doing. That's not the end of it. There's further part of the journey that's going to be challenging, but whatever that is, the universe wants you to be with your twin. So imagine what could be coming up. Okay. The good of what good is going through all the stresses if you're not going to be together? Because you are never going to be separated, because you can't be, because you were built for each other. You've been with each other in previous lives, and you will repeat this again if you don't come into union this round. The whole idea is we are fighting against the dark, right? This is war. Even though on our side, in our this is a it's a tug of war where one person is in the middle and the dark is pulling this way and the light is pulling this way. Does that help? You don't want this test, but you got it, babe. I mean, you can bow out of it any time, but it's not going to change the fact that you're going to be connected, because they tell us even if we sign off and we establish a relationship with someone else who is a soulmate or just someone who is nice enough, and walk away from this entire plan, you're still connected to this person. Okay, you're still connected in some way forever to this person. And that was a point I was making also about jealousy and stuff like that, and infidelity, or feeling guilty about anything. Whoever your partner is, he or she is going to do whatever they're doing. We can't see what they're doing. We may feel it, but we can't stop them, right? So that's part of it. You can't control anybody else's actions but your own. And this goes both ways. Okay? They can't control yours either. You can control yourself. You can trust yourself. You have the right to make the decisions that you want to make. And if we can be told that you may never get into physical union, that you may not ever see them again, but you're going to always be connected, that you could actually marry somebody else and that connection still be there, then what difference does it make if they or you have sex with someone else? It shouldn't affect the connection. Even if you don't want to talk to them no more when you find out about it, if you want to do that, or they don't want to talk to you no more, it doesn't make a difference. You're still going to be connected. So if you're allowing yourself to be anxious and worried because you're afraid that someone is going to take them from you, or they can't do that. That can't happen. They could slow it down, they could deter it, but again, they are the ones who are making those choices, and they are going to have to answer for that at the end of the day. Because even if the two of you become Mr. and Mrs. Jones, Smith, Curry, Hathaway, whatever the hell, when you go to stand before the throne of God, they're gonna put you in a casket by yourself. They're putting you in a hole by yourself, and you are gonna answer for yourself. The same way you can't answer for your mother or your father or your brothers or your sisters is the same thing. The question is gonna be, what were you doing? Were you doing your work? What were you doing to um, uplift, the collective, or service to humankind? All right. Were you being grateful, even whether they were or not? This is about being responsible and taking accountability. You're connected because of your twin flames, okay? You were already connected before you were actually born in the world. This is a decision that you agreed to, your spirit, your soul agreed to. This is a spiritual journey. It's not just romance. Those who are on the twin flame journey. Now, a soulmate, you're going to have soulmates that are going to rotate with you through different lifetimes too. They could be your mother, your doctor, your teacher, your brothers, your sisters, your father. You could have been your mother's mother. She could have been your son, that kind of stuff. These are people that come into your life, some of them for a season, some for a reason, but You all follow one another. You and the karmic are probably part of the same soul family also, and you all are working out some other thing through this too. So that's how you all are connected in this scenario. If you're on a twin flame journey, the understanding is that whether you come into union or not, you're still connected because you're part of the same whole. The whole idea is to um, get balance for the masculine and female energies. And this person, who is your twin flame, and you were brought into recognition with one another in this lifetime, but this is not the first lifetime. Some of us are hoping that this is the last lifetime because we're tired, and you are here to do service for the collective, service to help raise the vibration. So you're on a spiritual mission together for the divine and for your generational line. So it's a contract that you agreed to. Right, Doreen? Did you understand that before? Was that clear to you? And you have the right not to waste any energy on him anymore. You may not ever see him again, but spiritually, you all are connected. You may not see him again, you may not feel him again, but you're connected. Okay. All right. So you're a divine masculine works in a nursing home. Do you know how many? And he's being of service, working in a nursing home. If he's a police officer, if he's a teacher, he's a garbage man. He is being of service as long as he's taking his butt to work. Right? Right, exactly. And in your own life, depending on what you do, you're being of service also. But together, there may be a mission, a spiritually based mission, a more obviously spiritually based mission, maybe or maybe not. It could be that you all are supposed to be parents of a star seed or an indigo child, I think they call it, who are here to do a work for the divine. Well, if your customers tell you that your smile makes their day, there you are. There you go. You are doing right, and therefore you do not want to be going to work not happy or not at peace because you're thinking about this these lessons. Okay, you want to be able to spread that sunshine, share that gift with your customers, right? So again, this is what I was led to do today. um, Now, Beauty and the Beast. Um, Now, Beauty and the Beast is a fairy tale, right? And we're pretty familiar with it, right? Belle was from very smart young lady, very smart girl, right? Still love him and don't want to be with him. How twisted is that, Doreen? The whole point is that we're all feeling like that right now. That's why we're all here, and that's part of why I guess Spirit wanted to lead us to do this little chit chat, so that you know that you're not alone. That we all feel like that. That we've all been ghosted. That we've all had no contact. We've all been stood up this weekend and the weekend before and the month before and the week before. You are not alone in this mistreatment. You are not alone with the games, the cheating, the mind manipulations. Some are worse than others. Um, You're not the only one that is wondering whether or not this person is fake or karmic, or if this is a false twin, or a number of things. You're not alone. So if you're not alone, you don't need to take it personal. That's why the whole point is, what is the lesson? Because if we're all, just like when I give a general reading, right? We're all on different sides of the world doing all kinds of different things. But those readings resonate with different people, people in Australia, people in Canada, people in Swaziland, people in uh, Suriname, people in Panama, people in Barbados, because we're all connected. And on the twin flame journey, we're all connected too. So just want to be able to reassure one another that you're not by yourself. Okay? Right. You don't have you what you're feeling. I just want you to understand. I want everyone to understand. I want to remind myself today, we're not alone. Desiree, stop making excuses. You had hopes, you had expectations because you wanted to spend time. Okay? So don't qualify, well, he wasn't clear whether he was going to be able to do it. Even if he was clear, how many times has he been clear and not shown or been disappointing? We're not saying that you don't love him, and we're not saying that he doesn't love you. Not at all. What we're saying is that he is only doing what the universe is having him to do, because the point is, what are we supposed to be getting out of this? That's the whole thing. Stop taking this on ourselves as the victims, or as the martyrs, or as the bad people who are just putting so much pressure on this person. They're just doing what they signed up to do. They're doing their part of the contract, which is to help you learn your lessons, right? And your part of the contract is to help them learn theirs. And what are you going to help them learn how to do? You're going to help them learn how to respect other people's time. You might be helping them to understand that the world does not just revolve around you, and you're not going to be sitting around waiting for them. You have a life, and you don't, you can't get these days back, even though we're spiritual beings having a human experience. The human experience days are numbered. Okay, you got so many tickets for the amusement park, and the line is getting closer, and every time you turn around, your tickets are expiring, waiting on that ass, right? So at least, if you're going to do this, don't be miserable in it, and don't be beating up on yourself. There are enough, especially for us female, there are enough people and things and circumstances out here that we get blamed for people's bullshit. Okay? But we have to carry our own. This is not about adding more layers to your nonsense or to your burden. No, you've done your work. That's why you're here waiting on this idiot. Because you've done your part. You've gone through your lessons. So why are you still getting beat up? Because even when you all get in the union, there's more lessons to come. When do you get a break? When do you get a breather? When do you reward yourself? You might as well reward yourself now, and you don't have to worry about taking time away from your relationship. Look at it that way. If you're good to yourself now, then when he comes, you just spend time with him and don't have to worry about. Don't make him the reward. Reward yourself. Don't make it. Okay, thank you. Don't make union your reward. Make the gifts of the Spirit that you have received your reward. Celebrate that. Sure, you can ask a question. I've been answering your questions all afternoon. I'm waiting for her question. I don't want to get on a rant and not see it. Are you wrong to be jealous of other couples? Okay, so you're not wrong. You're feeling what you're feeling. So just accept the fact that you're feeling it. Now, why are you feeling it? Yes, you want to see your person too, but their journey is not your journey. Your sister and her boyfriend may not be twin flames. He could just be the person she's seeing right now for a few months or a couple of years. Maybe they are not chosen or they didn't sign up. All right. You're in an elite group of people. Okay. So she could only make you feel that your person ain't about nothing if you believe that. Even if you even accept it, who cares what she thinks? You know what? The universe, the creator, thinks that your person is worth becoming a divine masculine. That he was special enough out of his lineage, his clan, to do this with you. Even if he's a karmic. Karmics are divine also. They got a mission. So just because her boyfriend is easy or nondescript, that's good for her. Thank God that she don't have to do this. You're in love, dear. Okay? You're in love. But don't allow anybody to undermine. That's what I was talking before about the way that we speak to our family and our friends about this journey and our partners. And that's why it's good to connect with other people who are on this journey who can understand. All right. And we try to be gentler in the way that we describe the problems. Like, you know, we have to be careful and mindful because in the event you do become Mrs. Whoever, or y'all do get into union or live together, you don't want your family and your friends looking at him or her, sideways. You don't. Thank you, Nancy. All right, get back to that. Nancy, I had to answer Desiree's question. All right, Nancy. Um, so in the original version of the fairy tale, which is the Grimm's brothers, right? Beauty lived with her father, her two sisters, and three brothers. She lives with her father, two sisters, and three brothers. So it's one father and three girls and three boys. Okay. My mother likes mine too. My mother don't like nobody. Okay. Again, all of these parts of the journey are common and they're common denominators, honey buns. So that's what you got to understand. Nothing that's happening for you is not happening for the rest of the collective in some way or another. We all have different, things that are particular to your particular scenario, but ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay? So, let me just finish because Nancy's been very patient. Okay, and Beauty is, well, in the Disney movie they call her Belle, right? Beauty lives with her father, sisters, and brothers. She is noted for her kindness and sensitivity, while her sisters were greedy. Family is very rich, but the father has a boat wreck and loses his health. Beauty works in the fields and is very humble. The father hears that his treasures may have been found, so he ventures on a long journey. But just before departing, he asks his daughters what they would like. Two sisters want valuable jewels and clothing, and Beauty only asks for a black rose. The rose is the star of life in the realm of flowers, and black represents the unseen beauty within, the hidden beauty of the rose, the hidden beauty of humanity. Okay, so hidden beauty of humanity. Let's keep that in mind. The unseen beauty within, the beauty even on the dark side, right? The beauty in the darkness. Father leaves but does not recover his lost fortune. Instead, he arrives at a castle. All the doors are open, the fire is roaring, and food is laid out. So he eats, rests, and spends the night. The next morning, he gets up and visits the garden, where he plucks a rose. Suddenly, the beast, a man with the head of a lion, symbolizing the black robes or hidden beauty, appears in the garden. So the beast symbolizes hidden beauty also, the beauty in the dark side. A man with the head of a lion. So for some of you, maybe your partner is a Leo. It's possible. Or has Leo in their chart, or maybe you do, perhaps. And he gets angry and says that he will forgive the father if he can have his daughters. And the father receives riches from the beast. Hold up. So the beast gets angry at the man who cut the rose, who is Beauty's father, and he says that he'll forgive the father if he can have his daughters. The next sentence says the father receives riches from the beast. So I guess the deal was made, right? Hmm. I wanted to say he pimped his daughters out, but I won't say that. That's a joke. But isn't it? Like, what is that? He'll forgive the father if he can have his daughters. And then the father receives the riches from the beast. So he made a trade. This is what I'm saying. Beauty visits Beast at the castle. Okay, so I guess the father sent Beauty to visit the Beast. Did she know that she was chattel? She sees his kindness and continues to watch him. The castle is beautiful and she has splendid feasts. One day, she finds a tower and sees a mirror. The mirror says, through time, in your heart, you will see the truth. So, part of this journey is patience. And it's not that our divine partner is teaching us patience, it's you are, the universe is teaching you how to be patient and how to make the most of the time from where you're being patient, right? And saying that after a while, like they've been telling us, it'll be worth the wait, patience, right? But also that your intuition and your heart will reveal the truth. That you will come to an understanding of all of this. 6 and 6, Ashe, thank you. Sooner or later. If you're just joining us, please give us a thumbs up. Um, so Beauty begins to have a recurring dream, an awakening, right? A recurring dream in which she is at a lake and meets a handsome prince. And an old crone tells her that she needs to learn about spiritual beauty and the compassion in her heart keeps growing for the beast. There we go. Ashe. That's why we got this card. That's about this lesson. This is about this twin flame journey. Okay? You need to learn about spiritual beauty. And as you do, the compassion for your beast, your partner, your darkness that is still light, the love, the darkness that you love, this person who gets on your last nerve, the person that you want to walk away from, the person that you wish you had never met, but at the same time, you are glad that you did because you love them. That is how we are learning about the beauty of the spirit, unconditional love. And so your compassion throughout the frustration continues to remain constant for your beast, aka partner, be it DF or DM, whoever's acting extra right now. All right, whoever's causing you to feel sad, whoever's causing you to be hanging around on YouTube on a Sunday afternoon in, in April, right? But the lesson is not what they're doing to you. The lesson is what is the universe showing you and trying to teach you. So let's see what else we got here. And this is, I don't want to get in trouble for, copyright infringement here. This is the ISHA Learner and Mark Learner, and this is the Inner Child cards. This is a fairy tale tarot. All right, that's where I'm quoting from. Quote. All right. Um, Old Crone tells her she needs to learn about spiritual beauty, and the compassion in her heart keeps growing for the beast. Right. So she's working on her lessons. She listened to the advice. One day, Beauty's father becomes ill, and she goes to visit him. The beast asks her to return within 3 weeks, saying, "I'll die without you." Sound familiar? Just think about it. So she's going to take care of her business, and he's like putting a time limit on when she should get back because I'll die without you. Okay. Well, she stays longer than the allotted time. Desiree smiling. Okay. You starting to get it? She stays longer than the allotted time and then looks into the mirror and she sees that the beast is dying by a leg. Okay. So she stays and taking care of her father. And she stays past the 3 weeks that he had agreed to. Because remember, these two have aborted her earlier. Even though she was a good child who wasn't greedy, the father sold her to the beast, right? So he has control and he says, "I want you back in 3 weeks." Well, once she got away from him, she was like, yeah. I'm taking care of my father. I'm taking care of my business. I'm visiting with my family, seeing my neighbors, whatever. Okay. Because remember in the Disney movie, Beauty is Belle, and Belle is a smart girl. She's very smart. She likes to read. All right. She's very intelligent. So I don't think that this Beauty's version is any less smart. Okay. Or independent. So when she gets some freedom, she goes back to being her regular self, right? She's still caring and compassionate because if she wasn't, she would not have felt, oh, he's suffering, right? But remember, we're talking about the darkness. So couldn't that have been this beast making her see that image? Couldn't that have been manipulation so that she would come back? Was he really dying? Let's continue. Okay. So she happens to walk by a mirror and see the beast dying by a lake. A syncretic situation, right? In that moment, she realizes that she loves the beast because she sees him dying. So she rushes back to the castle, finds the lake. She didn't know where the lake was because she was always stuck in the castle, so she didn't know where the lake was. And she takes the beast's head in her arms, and says she loves him. Her tears flow on him, and as he stirs, she goes to get a drink. Then she sees the prince from her dream reflected in the lake, and when she turns around, the beast has been transformed into a handsome prince. Okay, so her tears for him as he's laying there on his last breath, right, causes him to stir. And as she reaches into the lake to get a drink, it doesn't say whether the drink was for her or him. I just want you all to make note of that in this text. It just says her tears flow on him, and as he stirs, she goes to get a drink. Maybe she was thirsty. But when she goes to get the drink, because she bends into the lake, she sees the prince reflected from her dream. And when she turns around, the beast has been transformed into a handsome prince. Okay, put a pin in that. Narcissus, the story of Narcissus is what? That Narcissus looked into the lake and got bewitched by his own reflection. So Belle, Beauty, looked in the lake. She didn't see herself. She saw the prince. So is does she disappear and can only see the prince reflected back at her? Or maybe is the prince her too? Part of the masculine feminine, right? Maybe what she saw reflected back at her is not her, and focusing on what's behind her, the shadow, the thing that's standing behind her. But maybe she looked in sort of, after showing this compassion for her father and this beast who actually just pimped her out and sold her off, but still showing both of these characters compassion. I say that she saw the beauty of the prince reflected back to her. Maybe. Just saying. That's what Spirit just brought to me. Oh, thank you. So now, Prince tells, okay, then she sees the prince from her dream reflected in the lake, and when she turns around, the beast has been transformed into a handsome prince. Reveal, right? The prince tells Beauty that an ugly woman once came to his castle, and he treated her poorly. Okay. An ugly woman came to his castle, and he treated her poorly. How many of us have heard stories about the crazy girlfriend, the ugly woman, the one that treated him so terribly, the mother, the ex, some ugly woman that treated him so poorly? No, that the ugly woman came to his castle and he treated her poorly. He treated her poorly because she was ugly. So she cursed him by turning him into a beast and indicated that the spell would only be broken when someone can see his true inner beauty. So he treated someone poorly and because she was ugly, and in turn the woman cursed him and turned him into a beast and said that he would remain that way until someone could see his true inner beauty. So he's bad to someone, admits that he treated her poorly because she was ugly. She cursed him. She didn't kill him. She still left him in his beautiful castle. She still left him with all that he owned, but that he would be a beast until someone could see his true inner beauty. Meaning that the old crone that was so ugly recognized the beauty in him even when she put the curse on him. So maybe that's saying something about 7 and 7, Ashe. Maybe that's saying something about the karmic. Or other relationships that he may have been in, that your partner may have been in, male or female, whoever's acting up right now. Perhaps they mistreated someone just like us who still saw the beauty in them. The difference is that we haven't cursed them. And this could be their karma. Or it could be their father's karma or their grandfather's or their great grandfather's, something like that. It's something that's been forwarded down. So it doesn't have to be necessarily him, but in most cases, they have treated someone pretty ugly along the way, as maybe we all have, right? But we're talking about this part of the lesson right now because their lessons are also our lessons. What they go through is an opportunity for us to learn something. So we're going to turn the hurt into a lesson, right? And not make it about us. Okay. Then she cursed him by turning him into a beast and indicated that the spell would be broken only when someone could see his true inner beauty. And it was Beauty who was able to break the enchantment with her unconditional and genuine love. So, what is this twin flame journey about? Unconditional love, right? Beauty loved her father even though he sold her to the damn beast. When he had two other people that he could have traded, he picked the good child. So why were you chosen for this journey, ladies, gentlemen? Because you were the smart child, you were the good child, you were the one that could carry out this task. Okay? The things that you've experienced in the past is what has brought you, what has built you to be able to withstand this journey and for you to do the work that you contracted to do because you have gone through some things. You're welcome, honey. She said, thank you for breaking this down. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm breaking it down to myself at the same time. Okay. I didn't know that car was going to jump out, and I have never read this into it before. The story of Beauty and the Beast is an inspirational fable that generates music in the heart. I feel a song in my heart again. That was the song I picked before this reading started. And it's 555. Ashe. Oh, wow. See? And it's 5 and 7 here, 6 and 7 now. All right? As far as thumbs up. The story of beauty, and see, and the song was I Feel a Song in My Heart Again. I love spirit. All right. The age old lesson or moral is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So that's the lesson that we've all been taught about Beauty and the Beast, right? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But I think that we got a couple of more little nuggets of lessons that we could relate to this twin flame lesson. Are you still with me, Nancy? Nancy is like, because I know she really wanted to hear this. I want to make sure that Nancy is still with me. Um, okay. The age old lesson or moral is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. In the traditional tarot, this card, I was getting ready to say this got to be the strength card, right? This card is called strength, and it often depicts a beautiful woman opening the mouth of a lion. So again, strength card is Leo. For me, as a reader, I see it as Leo and Sagittarius. That's just the way I do because Temperance is Sagittarius, and the lady that is the woman in the depiction with the lion reminds me of that same guardian angel figure. To me, that might not be for everybody, but traditionally it is Leo. Hey, love and light. Okay, Nancy's here. You're in deep thought. Okay, good. Hi, love and light. Thanks for coming. Desiree says hi. All right, so da, 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 da. Okay, so in the traditional tarot, again, my glasses, my eyes extended a month, folks. I'll be fine by the 6th, the 2nd, this week maybe. I don't know. I gotta go get my infusion. New medication called Orcivis for MS, and this will be my second time taking it. So you only have to take it once every 6 months, and I had a good first 6 months, so this is going to be the second try this coming week. Okay, so Ocrevus is called Ocrevus. In the traditional tarot, this card is called Strength and often pictures a beautiful woman with the opening the mouth of a lion. When this card appears in your reading, and that's about taming the beast, right? That's what they say, taming the beast, being in control. But if beauty is the feminine side and the beast is the masculine side, so it's having control over your masculine side, not over your masculine side. When this card appears in your reading, accept the miraculous gift of love in your life, not for what you can visibly see, but for what you feel and know as true. Not for what you can visibly see, but for what you feel and know as truth. Accepting the miraculous gift of love in your life, not for what you can see, but for what you feel and know. So, following what your intuition is telling you, how you feel, and what you know is the truth because of all of the indications, the synchronicities, the telepathic confirmations that you have gotten from spirit, from your ancestors, from your uh, twin as you've gone along this journey. And if you believe, then you know that all of that was truth. True love is available to us when we open our spirits to inner guides and dreams and dare to follow our hearts. So be daring, be fearless, like the beast, like the lion. Love is often disguised. Love is often disguised as is truth. Look beyond the mask, beyond the personality world, and beyond the surface and stereotypes. Look beyond the mask, beyond the personality world, and beyond the surface and stereotypes. So again, we spoke earlier about doing a new thing. 8 and 8, Ashe, 8 and 8, doing a new thing. Okay? And it's 6:02 p.m., which is 8 again. So we got 3 8s right now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Ashe. Hallelujah. Amen. Accept the miraculous gift of love in our lives, not for what we can visibly see, but for what we feel and what we know to be true. True love is available to us when we open our spirits to our inner guides and to our dreams and dare to follow our hearts. Love is often disguised as is truth. Look beyond the mask, beyond the personality world, and beyond the surface and stereotypes. Where there is darkness, see light. Where there is pain, send healing prayers and thoughts. Where there is disharmony, sow seeds of contentment and joy. Let your warmth and magnanimity flow. Magnanimity. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, and y'all know I know how to say it. M-A-G, all right, being magnanimous. MAGNANIMITY. Let it flow. So that's your generosity. Okay, and your charm, your magnetism. Your partner isn't the only person that's charming and magnetic. You are too. That's why you on this. Oh, okay. She says her soulmate is a Sag and she's a Leo. There we go. You're welcome, Nancy. Let me finish this up. We're almost there. When there is pain, send healing prayers and thoughts. Where there is disharmony, sow seeds of contentment and joy. Let your warmth and magnanimity flow. When you look in the soul mirror, be thankful for the beautiful gift of divine life and eternal love. When you look in the soul mirror. Now, if you're looking in the soul mirror, you're looking at yourself, your soul, right? So be thankful for the beautiful gift of divine love and eternal love that you are. It's got to be you because you're looking in your own soul's mirror. So, not looking outside of yourself and not valuing anyone outside of yourself, not your divine masculine. Not saying that you don't value him and that you don't value other people, but not to the undermining of yourself. The traditional tarot archetype is strength, and the zodiac ruler for this card is Leo. Ashe? So that's thank you. Isha, Lerner, and Mark, Lerner, end quote. So that is the lesson of what we're going through right now this week in this week's episode of What's the Lesson? All right, in this idiocy that we are dealing with, right? So we got the cards that told us to trust, to What was the other one? Free yourself. Were the two cards that came out from the Romance Angels as we were talking. And so now we are knowing that we have to trust ourselves, trust what we feel, okay? Free yourself from guilt, from any thought that you are a lesser player in this play. You are the star. You are the most important right now because you've done the work and you're waiting for your co-star to come out. God knew I needed this and to talk it out. You were rambling, right? Nancy, exactly, to thine own self be true. Exactly. Exactly. Love and Light said, blessed be. I'm sorry, I didn't see that until just now. All right, so this is what we have to remind ourselves of. Not if we're supposed to be showing our partner unconditional love, why are we being so hard on ourselves? Because they're being hard on us, because our friends and our families think that we're crazy and all this other stuff. They thought Jesus was crazy too, didn't they? Isn't that the lesson that we just went through over the last week of Passover and Easter? Are you any less than that? Because you going okay. VS, you're not hard on yourself? All right. Okay. That's right. This honey, this is in my belief, Desiree. There's this is all about God. There are different paths everybody takes to God. My path was through the church, so that's the basis of what I know and how I was raised. I say my prayers that are prayers from the Bible. I was taught my prayers, so Jesus is going to be there. Hey, hey, girl. Okay, Desiree knows. VS. Okay. All right. So there are lessons throughout the Bible for us. All right. What did I just talk about? Ruth and King Boaz, Esther and King Azra, Mary and Joseph, you know, all of the stuff. I always tell my friends, like this, all of this DNA and, not the father and all of this, Maury Povich and all of this, man, been taking care of other people's babies since Jesus and Joseph. Thank you, VS. Thank you very much. VS said my hair was lovely. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this ain't nothing new. People been taking care of other people's children forever. That's why it's called mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Didn't I say that earlier about something? Yeah. So that must be a problem for some. Maybe somebody's dealing with some DNA testing or finding out a child is theirs or not theirs or something like that. You ain't the first and you won't be the last. Right. That's what I was saying. We're not the first wave of um, twin flames to come through the universe. Not even the first in this decade. But this, we seem to have we're having a little extra bit of a time. But then again, we don't know because, as I was saying earlier, at least we have the internet to connect with each other. Imagine when other people were going through all these different iterations and they didn't have anybody to connect with. Maybe that's why people killed themselves. Maybe that's why people ran away and their families never heard of them again and things like that. You don't know. That may be why you see these couples that, are reunited after the husband died and the wife died and they meet each other in the nursing home. That they knew each other from high school and they meet up again and they happen to end up in the same nursing home. So what do you think? That's just a coincidence? People may have thought that they were crazy, or maybe they didn't talk about it. Because remember, women didn't talk about love like we talk about love. We certainly didn't talk about, all right, the notebook. All right, okay. They certainly didn't talk about sexual desires and missing their man and all this other stuff. They would have put you in a crazy house for real. Maybe that's why some they used to say women were hysterical, right? And they used to give them hysterectomies when they were what the society felt that they were being nymphomaniacs because they were sexually or sensually, you know. Okay, you got 011 here. When okay, and it's 611 right now. I'll say, where are you at, VS? 011. Other side of the world. In Germany. Okay. Thank you for coming. Oh, Desiree, your DM hates the movie, and now he's part of the same thing. All men hate the movie. Again, they all hate that. Some of them, as they get a little older and they get a little bit of understanding whether they're on this journey or not, as they mature, sometimes they start to appreciate the Notebook. But they don't want other guys to know that. You know, it's a girls' movie. They don't want to chick flicks, right? Again, that's something that he has to work on too. Because that's not about chick flicks. He's supposed to be getting in touch with his feminine side and being able to accept things that are emotional, at least around you, and allow himself to be vulnerable. And you understand and accept that and uh, don't take advantage of it, but encourage him to be in touch with that because that's going to be part of the lessons that you are going to tackle when you finally get into Union 2. He likes Disney movies and The Little Mermaid. Oh, that's sweet. That's good. I I really don't think I paid too much mind to Little Mermaid. But that's because I got a thing with water. I talked about that before. That's just it. I don't know. That's just me. But my favorite Disney movie is always we took my grandbabies to have their birthday a few years ago. They had a party at a theater, and it was going to be Beauty and the Beast. I didn't choose a movie; they did. I was sitting in there, my mother, my sisters, and brothers, and family members. We were there for the party, right, with their classmates and stuff. And I found myself a little chair away from everybody, and I'm in tears. I'm in tears. I love the whole story of Beauty and the Beast. Yes, I loved it. Yeah, I love it. I still do. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. But I was in I didn't want everybody knowing I was in there. Boo hoo, and I'm there. I'm the grandmother of the birthday kids. But I was having a moment. I was having a Disney moment. You like Lion King? Lion King is good too. Lion King is good too. But Beauty and the Beast, I always loved that. And I didn't even know all of the details that they just um retold us in that. Right? I didn't know all of that. I may or may not have, but I studied early childhood education in college, and I did write my high school these high school, to get into college. I wrote two. One was the effects of Mary Hartman on American society. Stupid. Okay, just Google Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. It was serious back then, but I got into college with it, and I there was a paper that was written. This guy's name was Brabham or Branham, something, but it was a study about the effects of um, these fairy tales and stuff that we read to children was not intended for kids. These were adult entertainment. Remember, there were no TVs and stuff in the Middle Ages and stuff. So these things were plays that were put on for the community. Over time, Disney and other, they've been capitalized, and we've, ended up condensing certain information in order to make it palatable for children. But these were the Grimm brothers fairy tales. Okay. All right. So there are some of us who had that situation that came up also in a reading that their soulmate is bisexual and they didn't know about it. Okay. So one partner was caught totally off guard. That again, thank you for bringing that up. And the reason that you brought it up is so that in case you didn't see it, I want to reassure you, I'm not going to call out your name, but yeah, that has been a thing too. That has been a thing too. Okay. Now, how would you deal with him? Well, it depends on what you think about that. It depends on where you are with that. If you feel that that type of behavior is going to compromise your health, and you don't want to do that, um, you could cut off that type of contact so that you are not intimate with them anymore. They still will be your twin, and if you still want to do work together, you can. Nobody can tell you what to do. No one can tell you what to do with that is concerned. That's your choice. Now, if you are not worried about diseases or STDs, I'm not telling you you should or you shouldn't be. I'm just saying, if for whatever reason, let's say he decides that he wants to come to you with a clean bill of health from the doctor, that from this day back he's good, and from this day forward he's got a clean bill of health. Maybe that may or may not make a difference to you, and maybe then you all can. Uh, uh, just because he did something before doesn't mean that he's going to continue to do it again. Also, that's another thing. Well, that's something the two of you will have to talk about and discuss when everybody is ready to have discussions as grown people, right? All right. Some people have no 8 and 8. Okay, we got 8 and 8 again out here. Some people have no, that's not a thing. What they don't like is the fact that they weren't told and given a choice beforehand. And that's what's pissing a percentage of people off, that this has come to their um, attention. Is that if I'm your friend or I'm your soulmate, do you think that maybe you could have mentioned this to me as as we are getting to know each other? You think that might be something you want to discuss? Now, someone's making the point that David Bowie and his wife Iman, that David Bowie was bisexual and they made it work. 10-4, but there are some people. He ain't the only one. There's been rumors about all kinds of rock stars and actors and whatever. Hey, listen, no shade, but Magic Johnson was best friends with Isaiah Thomas to the point that they was actually kissing each other on the lips on the basketball court a couple of rounds, right? And it was a big deal, and it was discussed and talked about. It was about, why is it wrong for men to show one another affection, right? Action to divine masculine. I bet you knows about that even if he wasn't born. I'm sure he's heard about it, right? People who are into sports. Now, a couple of weeks after that, um, okay, yeah, you remember, Magic Johnson was diagnosed with HIV positive, right? When they were doing for the contracts and stuff, he had taken physical and it came up. Now, him and his buddy, who was patting each other on the ass and kissing each other on the lips on national television, Isaiah Thomas was so important that they even had a autobiographic story on about him and his mother and his brothers and sisters, and what a great job she did raising them, and you know making sure that he became an NBA player or whatever, whatever. The Isaiah Thomas story. All of this, and then Magic Johnson gets diagnosed, right? All of a sudden, there's an uproar. Him and Isaiah's not his buddy anymore. He ain't got nothing to say. No comment? No comment. What? You remember? Okay, think about it. And my opinion always has been, even before the HIV thing. I don't know. I always thought that Magic and his wife looked like cousins to me. Cookie, but that's my opinion. I don't, But so that's how come she got over it pretty quickly. Some people would have been, look what Tiger Woods' wife did to him just because he was having affairs with women. She was she hit him and knocked him so hard he drove into a tree and he ended up getting arrested. And then he loses his home and he loses his riches and he loses the green jacket and all the other shit. This woman was the nanny. Okay, stop it. Let me get off of that soap opera. I'm just saying. But that's a whole different thing. But anyway, I ain't lying, right? Okay, 622 when I said all of that. I ain't lying. Love is a powerful thing. Money is a powerful thing, baby. Money is a powerful thing. Now, Magic has been diagnosed. There have been people who have been diagnosed before, after, and since. And he's outlived all of us. All of them. Because he got money. So if he got enough money, if you got money for that, and HIV medication, wherever you get it and however you get it, is not cheap. Even if you got to go over to a different country and get it and whatever, it ain't cheap. Thank God he has the resources for it. But it also can keep a wife quiet. $44 is the number that you've been seeing. Twos, what you have been seeing. Well, twos are about love, right? Two of Cups. Two is about communication. Two is about yin and yang, equality, right? Two is about two halves of the same whole, right? When you see 222, those are angel numbers, right? You see 22, I'll tell you right now what 22 is. You've been seeing 222, 22, and 2. All right, so you've been seeing twos in groups of 3, 2, and 4. Okay, cool. Well, the other ones, you're going to have to look them up. I know that I've spoken about it before, and I can't remember them offhand because there's so many numbers. But I'm going to look at 22 right now because that's in here. And 22 is about your intuition, following your intuition, tapping into your intuition. So I would say that 2222 probably is about listening to messages from the divine. Could be about intuitive or telepathic conversations that you may be having with your divine partner. Well, 1111 is about manifestation. 1111 is a twin flame. All of these numbers are indications of a twin flame connection. They're all master numbers, okay? 33 is very important. 3 is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. 3 is creation. 3 is God's 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 way, God's intervention, the intervention of the universe. Okay? 3 is about creativity. All right? Christ consciousness. Right. 33. All right, so 3 is about creativity. Okay? This is being creative today. Us sitting here and talking about this. All right, you all are helping me co-create by having these conversations and these questions. 224 14 as I'm saying that. Okay, 33 is about communication, communicating your thoughts and your feelings, and having the courage to speak your truth. 8/22, August 22nd, is an angel day. Okay, so you're going to smile when you see these numbers now. And 5555 was shown to you today. Fives are about change. 5 is about transformation, right? 55, because this book don't go to 3 numbers, but you can look that up. You can Google it. 55 is about getting ready to have an adventure, baby. So if 55 is an adventure, 3 fives would probably be a spiritual journey, a spiritual adventure that you're getting ready to go into as you remember. We're almost at the end of this. That's why it's so hard. The last few, legs of the race are the hardest ones, right? Because you're tired, So 555 is about changes and about being open to adventures. And like I said, take a look at it. Take a look. 555. Google it. How does a woman compete with a gay guy? You don't have to compete with a gay guy. You can't compete with a gay guy. You don't need to compete with a gay guy because you don't have to compete with anybody because you are enough inside yourself. If this is what he's attracted to, then this is what he's attracted to. But we talked about being enough in ourselves, not being jealous, not needing validation from anybody outside of ourselves. If you choose to remain in a relationship with someone who is bisexual, then you are choosing yourself. You're choosing to not try to be in competition, because whether or not there's nothing that's going to sever the tie between you and your twin, as we said earlier. All right, no one's going to steal him from you. All right, he has a right to do with his sexuality the same way you have a right to express your sexuality. There's no shame. No, you don't have to change at all. You don't have to compete with anybody. And you don't have to discuss it with anybody either. That's up to you. If you want to, you can. If you don't want to, there's nothing for you. It's not a problem unless you decided it is. And if you decided it is, then you say, very good. Thank you so much for these lessons. And our connection is real. And I guess I'll see you next lifetime. That's it. Now, what, as I said, this came up in previous readings for the divine masculine, divine feminine. I think the one I did maybe a week or two ago. Like, is your masculine still being mysterious? I think that was addressed in there. And what Spirit said to me yesterday or the day before, just out of the blue. Okay. I think it was Waterbury Tarot. She was talking about the masculine and the feminine, that we have both masculine and feminine. Uh, we embodying the feminine more outwardly, but we have the masculine within us, and we are working on that part of us to accept it and learn how to tame it and work with it. I know y'all asking questions, but I gotta stay here or else I'll get distracted. I gotta make this point because they gave it to me yesterday, and there's a reason why. Because now it's come up that perhaps for those of you who haven't had confirmation from your partner that they're bisexual or have had bisexual cravings, or that's what they're interested in, or whatever, a history of bisexuality, it may be the masculine in us recognizing the masculine in them, and it's coming back to us as he must be gay or he must be bisexual, because The masculine in us is loving the masculine in him because they're connecting. Okay, Nancy. Thank you very much. And you can watch this later on after it uploads. All right. Thank goodness. Thank God if it uploads. There is nothing wrong with bisexuality, and it's not about a trust issue. First, it's about you trusting yourself, and also you setting boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with bisexuality, but there's some people who are not comfortable because they just aren't, and they have a right to feel that way. We can't say there's nothing wrong with it, and therefore you shouldn't feel that way. They feel that way, and they have a right to. If if I have my immune system is already compromised because I have MS, yeah, I might be concerned about being with someone who has a history of bisexuality if I don't know whether or not that person practiced safe sex or not. And just the fact that they didn't express that to me beforehand, then that's a betrayal. So if there's nothing wrong with it, then it should have already been on the table. Oh, that's your friend's initials? Okay. Well, all right. So we can't judge each other for the way we feel about these things because we're talking about it's one thing to deal with those issues in the abstract, but for yourself, you know, and someone admitted that how do you compete with a gay guy? That's what we all would be, a majority of us would have that thought like, well, it's one thing to deal with another woman, it's another thing. How do you compete with another man? You can't. But you don't have to because if you're competing, then that means that you're insecure or you're jealous. It's not. You are who you are. And like someone said earlier, people adjust. David Bowie and Iman and Rod Stewart and a couple of his wives and other people, But if that's not Cookie and Magic, and Isaiah and Magic Johnson ain't been seeing the same photo shot since he was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. I swear. Okay. Um, but and no shade to either one of them. Just making jokes because we're trying to, not be too heavy today, right? We're want everybody to, feel supported and validated in your feelings. Desiree, if he were to get into union and he would want to be with a man, then he can do that. You don't have to remain in that situation. You still have a free will, honey. Does not make you all not twin flames. It just means that you've chosen not to be sexually involved in a romantic relationship with your twin flame, but he's still your twin flame. Okay. Well, if his grandparents invite you to his home, their home for Christmas, and you want to go, you go. They miss you, you miss them. If he doesn't want you there, is it his house or their house? Again, standing up in your own strength, saying who you are and where you go and what you do, what you'll accept and what you won't accept. You're not going to allow yourself to be isolated. You're not going to allow yourself to be triangulated. Okay? Again, not saying that our partners are narcissistic in any way. We all have some narcissistic tendencies, and sometimes we should. Because as I said, we're honored to be chosen. Okay? He tried to shut down your relationship with his grandparents. His grandmother still text you, all right? You keep it on the DL? Yeah, because you don't want to make things uncomfortable for grandma either, because you don't know what what harassment she may have to deal with from him, whatever. But she's found a way to do what she want to do because she's still texting you. Child, please, you do what you want to do. See how these older women, they know how to work these things. At least his grandmother know how to text. Some grandmothers don't even know how to do that. Okay, she's cute, but she's smart. She ain't thinking about him. She likes you, and she's chosen to keep in touch with you. If you got to do it on the DL, then you do it on the DL. But if you go in the union, you're not going to be on the DL, right? You're going to be, yeah, I speak to your grandmother because I like her and I like your grandfather. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Would you shut him down from speaking to your parents? And if you would, then you need to check yourself. Don't let your world be minimized while theirs is expanded, because you're turning over your power to someone else. And this is about you having a balance, understanding the power of your masculine within and your feminine within, and using those energies the same way. We all have every sign of the zodiac inside of our birth charts, and when we face certain situations, we embody more of that particular trait. So if you're dealing with your business and stuff, if you have Earth in your chart, that Earth will, hopefully come into play to help you with your business dealings. All right. Or if you are, emotional, if you're an Earth sign, and you become emotional about something, that's some of the water in your chart. Your intuition is the water in your chart or the air in your chart. So we use different parts of us, just like we use our masculine when we need to cut somebody out, when we need to put somebody in check, when we need to show up certain places and do certain things, when we take certain jobs in law enforcement, when working around, typically masculine places like factories and things like that. We tap into our masculine energies in order to do that work, right? So if we are looking at I got distracted looking at that question. But you have a right to set your boundaries, what you will and will not participate in, what you will and will not accept. It doesn't make you closed minded or anything. It's just your preference, just like his. All right. There's nothing wrong with bisexuality. So if you said to your divine masculine or to anybody, yeah, you know what, I'm down for that. So when can we invite another guy into the bedroom? So it'll be me and you and another guy. So what if he did that and then you enjoyed the other guy more than you enjoyed your masculine? Well, now who's going to feel some kind of way? Because you might just. Now he's going to have to compete with another guy. Just saying, it can happen. Or that's the way you can look at it, so that you don't feel that you're in competition, that you embrace your sensuality and your sexuality, and you could handle that. You're not threatened by that. He ought to be threatened by it, because, I mean, this is how you could psych yourself to say. There is, yes, there is no competition, but someone said that they felt that they would feel that they would have to compete. So I'm Just saying, for example, VS, that you don't have to feel as if there's any competition, because when you feel like that, then that means that you're feeding into your insecurities. Right. Okay, you're agreeing with me. Thank you. Yeah, there is no competition. It's not about competition. It's about what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. But like I said, maybe the reason he didn't tell you about it is because he would be afraid that some of the people that he engages with would be interested in you, and then he'd have to compete. Understand the manipulation, the triangulation that goes on in their their dark side need to control. Okay? They're working on that. They're not at the place where they're past this pettiness or whatever, because if they were ready, we wouldn't be having this conversation and they wouldn't be ghosting us and acting like children, right? Again, they're not acting like kids, they're doing their jobs, because we have to learn these lessons, not allowing ourselves to feel insecure, but having you protecting yourself. Like I said, if you have if you have an immune system that's already compromised, you might think twice about that. Maybe you have to require, like I said, that that you both get tested, and so that you both know what your statuses are before you continue with the relationship. And even if he had those relationships in the past, he may decide that that's not what he's interested in anymore, because he's on a spiritual journey, or he's not interested, or he's found enough masculine in you to satisfy the feminine and the masculine in him. Okay. Well, different ones of them have different things that they need to overcome. Some have codependency issues, some have neediness, some are manipulative, some have mother issues, some of them he's his own wounded feminine and his own wounded masculine, just like you were your own wounded feminine and your own wounded masculine, and you still are, and you've already done a lot of the work, but there's more work to do. Okay? So they have to work on their issues while we work on ours. And if they were ready, then we wouldn't be sitting around here talking for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon in April. All right? But it's good because we're learning and we're healing and we're growing and we're encouraging one another, and that we're not going to allow ourselves to be um, further wounded by this journey. All right. We've done a lot of work, and we don't want to lose ground because we're getting disheartened and discouraged as we are on these last few legs of this race. And remembering that at any time you have a right to shut it down, you have a right to step away from it, to address it at another time. You have a right to say, I'm not interested in that type of work. But for some of us, keep in mind that perhaps if it wasn't that your divine masculine admitted that this is something that he was interested in, it could be that you're picking up on your own energies, okay? That you are just misinterpreting because you're not so familiar with that masculine in you and what it looks like or whatever. So why would you pick up on the fact that your masculine is reaching out to his masculine, right? Because that's there's feminine in him and you, and masculine in you and him. So you're recognizing each other. Your feminine may be in love with his inner masculine. Your dark side is attracting his dark side, just like your light side has attracted his light side. But that doesn't make the dark side go away or the light side go away, because you need both yin and yang, right? Light and dark. Just have to balance it out and learn to control ourselves, not about letting someone else control those energies in us, because they're our energies. And not that there's anything wrong with bisexuality, but just like anything, just like any spiritual awakening, just like when you get saved in church, or you convert to another religion, some things you just don't do anymore. You decide you're going to give this up for Lent, right? I'm going to stop eating meat. I'm going to become a vegetarian. You can do that. All you got to do is have self control. You've been eating meat all your life. Yeah, you just mentioned yin and yang. Well, that's part of what this whole thing is, right? So you've been eating meat all your life, and you decide, you know what, now I don't think that meat is so healthy for me. I am going to cut back on that. I'm just going to do fish and chicken, or I'm just going to do vegetables. It's a choice that you make, and that you can change your mind at any time, but you can do it. It's not impossible. Just because it's a sexual drive, your desire for a steak, you know, is just as part of you, as much a part of you. You've been eating steak all your lives. And to turn around and say, you know what, that's not so healthy for me. I think I'm not going to do that anymore. That's a choice. You can decide you're going to stop smoking, drinking, everything else. Everything is a choice. They can decide, because of whatever reason, because of they're not attracted, they haven't found anybody that they're attracted to. They've decided they're putting all their love, energy into you, that they're not going to do that anymore. They're not attracted to that anymore. That's their right. You have your choice and they have theirs. And like I said, some of you may say, you know what, okay, I'll try that. You know, let your buddy come over, and do you want to watch us do it, or you just want me to report on it afterwards, or you want him to tell you how it was? How's this going to go? We're going to be in the same room. Find out what the parameters of this is. If you're going to participate in it, what are the rules? And if you're going to participate in it and you're not so sure about it, rules can be, there can be compromises. Everything about this relationship can be compromised, but first you have to set boundaries. Oh, yes. All right. Yes. Things, being separate for so long and having no contact and all of this, the reunion is going to be a blast. Absolutely. And the other thing is to remember, if for some reason things don't work out and it is in your contract that you be in union with someone, then imagine what a wonderful, easier situation you'll be rewarded with by the universe, just because you've done such a good job with all of the lessons up to now. And even when you release your partner, you're releasing them with unconditional love, not being hateful, not being resentful, being happy for the lessons, honoring yourself for being chosen, all right, being grateful that you were thought to be worthy by your family, that you would take on this task, and that you've completed your mission. Just, you made a choice that this, we're in union, we recognize one another, we are still connected to one another, we will do what we need to do to raise the vibration of the collective, and you're extending unconditional love to them, And them standing in their truth is raising the vibration of the collective. So you've done your job, pat yourselves on the back, and move on to the next thing. You got to know that you are going to have a fantastic next love if this is as far as this particular union goes. You went to get some ice cream. All right, well, you missed a lot, and you'll get it when I upload this because this is going on 3 hours, you guys, 2050 hours. We'll see. We shall see. But regardless of what, this is about your relationship with the divine, your relationship with the creator, the contract that you signed, not the one that he signed, because he got to answer for his. You got to answer for yours, right? You have to answer at the end of the day, what did you do? But we don't need to be feeling, and this is not saying that, we're not going to have our moments and we're not going to lose our tempers and cry and everything after, we sign off here. But what I'm saying is that for I'm glad to be able to have this little time of the day that we could laugh. I'm so glad we had this time together. Okay, just to have a laugh or sing a song, right? But I think that we learned some things, all of us, right? We shared some things. We know that we're not crazy. We're not experiencing this thing all by ourselves. Everyone on this journey is having the same challenge at the same time by being ghosted and no contact. We're all on the same, we're all experiencing the same type of behavior from our partners. So you can't take it personal, because if it was personal, it wouldn't be happening to all of us. So they are doing what they're supposed to do to get us to where we need to go. You thought of Earth, Wind, and Fire singing a song, okay? Absolutely. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that these feelings won't disappear. And after the love game has been played, all of these illusions are just parade, and all these reasons start to fade, right? There's always messages in in the music, and when we bring it up, we remember and encourage one another, and we have a way, the ability to look into those words and see the message, the healing. Oh, you're welcome. She said, "Nice, Patsy. Thank you, VS." Yes, I thank goodness that I can remember some of these lyrics sometimes. And the reason I don't sing is because I know I'll get shut down by YouTube, and I'm already not making no money. I don't want to have no copyright infringement case. Then after you have three of those strikes, then you have to shut down your channel. So I tried it. It's not that important, but if I wasn't going to upload it, I would. I thought about it when I started. I said, you know what, I should just do music and everything and not upload it. But I'm glad I didn't, because there are lessons that need to be shared. Tears of Joy by Faith Evans. Oh, I don't know that one. I mean, I may or may not know it, but I'll definitely look it up afterwards, and I'll put that in the comment section along with Knocked Three Times and um, the other song that I said I got this morning, this afternoon, which was I Feel a Song in My Heart Again. Right. Right. So, know that this is not, none of this is against you. This is nothing, none of this is personal, except the fact that this is a chance for you to learn more lessons as you continue to do your work, continue to ascend, continue to be ahead. And while you're learning to work on your masculine and feminine energies, don't allow anybody to put you in a position where you feel less than. All right. Don't allow anybody to abuse you emotionally any more than they have so far. But that's over because we've all decided today that we ain't taking it personal. So if it ain't personal and it's emotional, it can't be emotional abuse anymore because we ain't taking it personal. It can only be abusive if you take it personal. Are you allowed to leave a link in the comment section? Yeah, you can leave a link in the comment sections. Absolutely. I appreciate it if you do. You can always come back and make comments as things change, or if you have a good conversation with your masculine anytime, feel free to come back and update the rest of us and let us know the bad and the good. We definitely want to know the good, and as you come into union, you can come back to this same video anytime as long as it uploads, and 255 when I said that, and update it. All right. Okay, VS says it has been a wild ride, and she would not trade any of it. She would not trade up a moment of it. Okay, so let's see if we can show it, because I have to be able to. Okay, so all right. So after we upload this, Desiree, you may have to put that into the comment section again afterwards, because after a while, the live chat disappears for some reason from YouTube. At least for me, I don't know if it does it for viewers and subscribers, but for me as a creator, I only see the live chat like maybe 24 hours or so, and then after that it disappears. Yes, God knows that you were built for this. Do you know how many people are in the world? And that everybody ain't on this twin flame journey. There's a reason, because you can handle it. You can more than handle it. So come back in a few days and see if it's there, or after this is uploaded, just put it in the comment section. Make a comment in the comment section and put it there, and then everybody will know it's there. All right. And I'll try to pin it along with the other songs, so we'll have one comment that has all of the songs on it for this session. So I hope you guys enjoyed this afternoon. Your sister could or could not handle it, but it don't matter. It's about what you could handle. Okay? Your sister may be on one next time, or maybe she is on one and she just ain't talking about it, her or her partner. Everybody has a different path to God. It could be spirituality, it could be through the church, it could be whatever. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because there's only one God, right? But there are different ways to get to it. It could be through being Buddhist, practicing Hinduism. You could be an evangelist, Pentecostal. You could be Catholic. You could be Jewish. You could be Muslim. You could be anything. You could practice Ifa. You could practice Santeria. Whatever. It's not for us to judge. All God wants is acknowledgement and gratitude and praise. However way it comes. We're not going to be judging how other people uh, interact with the Creator. We just know what we're doing, and we have a mission. You don't have to worry about your relationship with God if you're not doing things that are outside of your spiritual path. But it's better for you to worry about yours than to worry about someone else's. Your ice cream has 11, 11, 11, and 33 on it. Thank you, Doreen. Yeah, I'm starting to figure I could let it out a little sometimes. Everybody's been giving me compliments on it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that's me. I have to learn to accept compliments, but that's my issues, you know? and I'm working on it to the point now. I guess my divine masculine thinks that I'm a little too much. I'm a little too confident of myself. Oh well. Oh, it's a personal cup, like from Baskin Robbins. It has numbers on it. Baskin Robbins, like everybody knows Baskin Robbins. I'm smoking this tobacco. A personalized cup ice cream. Oh, nice. Very nice. So this one is 259, 58, 59 right now. Three. It's 3 hours, folks. This is gonna take a minute to upload. So thanks to everybody for coming. And it's Briars. Oh, ooh, Briars. I haven't had that in a minute. Briars, you can actually taste the vanilla in the ice cream, I remember. That was a treat. We ain't get that too often. I'm looking for Briars. She usually got that Neapolitan with the strawberry and the vanilla and the chocolate. I hate chocolate. And chocolate would always be in the middle. Hated that. Neapolitan, I think they call it. I couldn't stand that. My favorite ice cream is butter pecan. I hate Oreo cookies too. I'm not a chocolate person. Snicker bars, Milky Ways, Baby Ruth, but not Kit Kats and all of that, Butterfingers and all that. Nah. I don't like chocolate, ice cream. And I don't eat ice cream with my cake. Something about that. I don't like the consistency. That's just me. I can eat ice cream and cake, but they have to be on separate plates. Ice cream cakes for like Carvel and stuff, yuck. I'll eat the ice cream if I can. Eat around it, but I don't like wet cake. Something about it. But that's just me, my preference. We all have preferences, right? I ain't gonna start eating chocolate and Oreos and stuff just because my divine masculine likes that. I don't even know if he does or he doesn't, but if he does, oh well. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming by. Let me go ahead and up right, because I control what I put into my body. I control what I like and what I don't like. I can make my own boundaries, and I can change my mind anytime I want to, because that's a woman's prerogative, is to change her mind, right? Am I with my soulmate now? If I was with my soulmate, do you think I'd be sitting on here with y'all for 3 hours? I say I'm on the same journey with you, and I'm learning it as I go along. And mine is just as much as an idiot today as when I started this out as yours are. Okay, no different. No different. We're all experiencing the same fuckery. Just the details of each of our stories are different. Doreen's laughing too. No different, no better, no nothing. All I have is spirit and the ability to, and the gift of being able to do intuitive readings and get messages and be able to share the messages, because that's what I was doing readings long before I started this twin flame journey, and I will be doing that as long as that's what spirit leads me to do. I did not start this YouTube channel knowing anything about twin flames. This is something that has evolved as I've ascended and evolved, and I wasn't looking for it. I was always friends with my DM. He's an ex of mine. Um, and we've been through our own thing before now, but I've come to understand that that's part of the journey. And I hope that we get into union, but that's up to me and him at the time. I don't we don't know. It doesn't even matter about your actually, that's another thing that I found out on this journey. Because of the twin flame dynamics, our particular astrological sign doesn't really weigh a lot into it, because we all of us have all of the placements between the two of us, two of you, probably have all of the zodiac signs between the two of you. Probably the same ones in different places. That's why it's confusing when you watch too many videos and all of that. You can get confused. Scorpios, you deal with a Scorpio by getting to understand them and accepting the dark of who they are and the light of who they are. Well, there's a whole bunch of twin flames out here, and there's a whole big community of us, and a lot of the readers are on that journey. A lot of the many readers on YouTube are on that journey. Um, and there's a lot of information on the internet about people who have been part of a twin flame journey. Um, there is a gentleman, and I think the name of the channel is Go Ray Twin, Golden Ray Twins, and he and his wife have been on this. He's a really, older man, like he's in his 70s or early 80s, and he's like the expert on this, and he has a lot of information, explain to you a lot of things about this journey. And remembering that our focus is not on union, our focus is on service and on our own spiritual growth. And once we understand that it's not about romance, it's about the work and the contracts that we agree to, then it becomes a little less. You know that the end game is not necessarily union. End game is, what is it that you came to do, and are you doing the work? All right. So I said I was going to roll these dice at the end, just in case someone comes across this and they want to know if any of these messages are pertaining to them. So I got 3 dice here. Okay, just like I said, check on them. Those messages about is your twin being mysterious? There is a whole. I think that's the video that it came up in the reading for the twin flame, for the masculine energy, that there was some bisexuality or something in their past that they weren't sharing. Okay, so let's see what dice have to say, and whether or not these messages pertain to your particular relationship. Okay, so we have Aquarius and number 10 and Moon. So could be somebody whose partner or they have Aquarius in their chart. Somebody could have an Aquarius moon, and the number 10 could be important, but we know that the number 10 reduces to 1. So this is about you and your relationship with the divine. Okay? So don't forget to share these messages. Okay. All right. And thank you all for joining me and allowing me to do this. Okay, you're a 10 and you're a Libra. Okay, so this message relevant to you because you're a 10. Doesn't have to be all 3. It could be any of those. So if you have an Aquarius moon or Aquarius in your chart somewhere, or your divine masculine does, and the number 10 or 1. All right. And I'll be talking to y'all real soon. Thank you so much. Namaste. Ashe. Amen. And peace. You're welcome.